Hello and welcome to BumpTv, Ireland's only urban music show. Tonight I am joined by temperamental MissElayneous, who's going to tell me all about what 2013 has in store for her, play us some of her music videos and give us a live performance. Welcome, it's so good to have you on the show.
Thanks a lot, nice one for having me.
Thanks. I'm kind of confused as to what should I call you?
Well, you can call, a lot of people call me MissElayneous. A lot of people call me MissElayneous, and I try not to think that it's laziness. I think just for convenience, you can call me MissElayneous.
Okay, I'll go with MissElayneous.
Don't go with Missy L. I think who was it? The ticket or something called me Missy L. Yeah.
Yeah. So where did the whole name come from?
When I was 13, 14, I named myself Temper-Mental. And then when I was 19, I called myself MissElayneous, and I felt like if I left temperamental behind, it wouldn't really be fair, because that was a part of what knitted my character as an artist, as a rapper, as a lyricist. So I kept both of them, and although it might be a mouthful, I don't mind being pedantic.
And so how did you get into the whole hip-hop scene?
Let me see. I'm a bit of a lone wolf, when I was 13, I used to be just rapping in front of the mirror, and I'd be rapping in front of the mirror, like unplugged mic. I got a microphone and a little like street amp, and I think me ma expected I might go busking or something. But other things, I was preoccupied with other like social things and stuff, and I didn't really focus completely. But it was engaging with the mirror as my audience and rapping and just writing and just finding my own character and like looking at hip hop and tying the roots together knowledge wise and just learning about the history of it and that, and finding, well, where's my place as a female rapper within that.
And who would you say maybe female rappers were a great influence on your career?
Let me see, female rappers. Well, I mean, not always rappers were influenced alone. When I was about 11, I remember I asked for a Motown Gold collection for a Christmas present, it was these Motown collectives. So, I mean, it would be like Motown singers of both genders that were influencing me. And then I got into like blaxploitation and soul, and a little bit of blues, like Howlin' Wolf and that. And Tina Turner, all their stuff, and I remember seeing her vibrance and her vigour and just on stage how she would perform, looking at them old videos and that, and so it was really that, it was a performing element and the strength, the females, the strength that influenced me to want to promote that message as well, visually and, also material-wise, to have the substance as well as just, looking visually appealing and strong and, as a good artist and, so I felt it was important that I made sure I had the foundation as well as, how I was perceived.
Get across the message that you were a strong, empowered woman.
Yeah, I mean, my mother, I suppose, like, again, you said, like, what rappers influenced me. Really, I used to turn my nose up at MTV. I'd be like, no, I don't want to hear another love song. If I hear another love song, I look at MTV and I said, no disrespect or whatever. Well, you don't have to name drop about bands, but we all knew the boy bands that were out and stuff like that, and they didn't inspire me. I just wasn't moved, so I was looking backwards, and then I got into punk and stuff like that when I was 13 and got into the punk era and stuff. And it was like kind of going backwards, I was like Nancy Spungen, that's my hero right there, And things like that, and the Slits and all sorts of things, so yeah.
So who's been the biggest support for you throughout your career? Would it be your mom or someone like that?
Yeah, I suppose, well, throughout my career, as I said, I was a bit of a lone wolf, so I minded myself, but there's been various different influences. Like my mother, for example, when I was very, very young, she would have taken me to union meetings with her and stuff like that. She was her position in work. She was in a position where, again, this is kind of reflects on a lot of my material with regard to gender and social position and social strata, etc., etc. Like she would have been like president of the ESB-OA, a union in ESB, and she would have been around a lot of men, and her position was, she was in a position of authority there and looking at, bullying in the workplace, gender inequality in the workplace, so I would sometimes go to the National Women's Council meetings with her, and like I would sit and I would listen. And I remember this lady, she gave me a book on anthropology, because I loved drawing, I always loved animals, Susan, and I just focused very much so on the artistic and on the creative journey myself. So that was, it certainly wasn't hindered in any way. It was, definitely like moved along with my mother and my father as well, being a musician. So
very good. Well, we're going to take a look at one of your music videos now, which is called Contradiction.
Good. Nothing is real, nothing exists, just a projection of your perception. It's cerebral eclipse, deepening determinedly despite danger's depth. The contradiction is the truth, is where the secrets are kept. Nothing is real, nothing exists, just a projection of your perception. It's cerebral eclipse, deepening determinedly despite danger's depth. The contradiction is the truth, is where the secrets are kept. Though subliminally untouchable still, corruption encroaches my vicinity, principally indestructible, not specifically allegorical, surreptitiously metaphorical, contradictorily affordable. Love and hate breed in close proximity, faith, hope and charity, 3 theological virtues. Man is the protagonist of his own epic journey, and a feminine trinity, grace visual but realistically cynical, she subdues. No man may God can discern me, speaking your mind may leave you inclined to fall victim to ridicule. So the blind lead the blind, happy no owners is consigned. A cryptic entity dictates the rule. You get segregated from the rest of the mass and tossed in a category labeled alternative. Degrading free spirit to the level of fashion, prescribed opinions, yet told that's your own prerogative. People catch a eye and quickly divert their gaze, afraid to connect with you on a personal plane. Men aren't allowed to cry, teenagers going through a phase. Women have never had freedom to regain. The most derogatory slurred, education's absurd. Breath of hypocrisy occurred, the most basic boundary blurred. So detached from simplicity, but now things seem arduous without instant results in active unenthused paralysis. Nothing is real, nothing exists, just a projection of your perception. It's cerebral eclipse, deepening determinedly despite danger's depth. The contradiction is the truth, is where the secrets are kept. Nothing is real, nothing exists, just a projection of your perception. It's cerebral eclipse, deepening determinedly despite danger's depth. The contradiction is the truth, is where the secrets are kept. Soliloquies ahead, there's a finish point to this game. This pale reflection of life, human expression is the bane of this existence. Severed off from all creation, bending the biological laws within this so-called universal critique, where suspense and terror too often a technique, tending tyranny, psychological fraudulence. Establishment manipulation seeks quiet havoc to wreak on a docile cautiousness. Ball and chain, love and growing pains through self-discovery. Desolation is the answer, being a fatal uncovery. Safe from yourself, misplaced, feeling safe to be felt at a later date. Save your breath, we can self-berate. Threaten something to crave, better never than late. Too impatient to wait, instant gratification at stake. Too ethically doomed to deprave. You're too deep in conscious slumber to wake. Discernment is shot, blame Christ hates addiction, familial catharsis. Pain immunology, happy agnosia, lethargic narcolepsy. Martyrdom rises and falls as catalyst of regulatory extermination. State subject codependence enables point control of population. Distrust picks up momentum, inertia's constant but erratic. Regimented, methodical, impromptu, consistency sporadic. Gravitational games, climb glass ceilings ballistic. Sadomasochistic, self-sabotage, suicidal, hedonistic. Nothing is real, nothing exists, just a projection of your perception. A cerebral eclipse, deepening determinedly despite danger's depth. The contradiction is the truth, is where the secrets are kept.
That was Contradiction. Do you want to tell me a bit about that music video?
That music video was directed by Tara Morgan, a chick called Tara Morgan, and I'm collecting a few females to accompany me in that because I felt that it was a strong point to just emphasise that there's strong women out there, and that, you know, kind of my role, I suppose, I feel would be to kind of influence women to, you know, be writing more, you know, in that way artistically. And, you know, there's a couple of young girls that are getting into rapping. Femc Mega, she's in the Step in the Ring video, you know, and she's also in Contradiction too. And she's an amazing Femc or female lyricist, you know, and it's good. I just thought get her in, get a few people in just to back me up because, well, we looked at Brooklyn Zoo by ODB, Old Dirty, from Wu-Tang Clan, rest in peace. And we looked at that video, and I really loved that video, but I've noticed Wu-Tang, full of men. There's a lot of masculine energy and no balance with female energy, so I just said, give me lots of female energy, you know, and find the balance. So that's why we did that, and yeah, it was a song produced by G.I. of Street Literature.
Very, very good. And we're now going to take a look at your next video, which is Dominoes.
See Who needs a free mind when I can get a mind for free? I stylize mine from an ad on TV. Brutalize, put your thoughts on standby and invite their demise. Psychological hush, induced emotional rush. Technological war, televised narcotics galore. Prostitute reality, fabricate the truth. Vacate your mind to a cavity, turn out branch and root. Empty for the next advertising to occupy their layers. Exilize, mentally transfixed in a stare. Monotonous soap operas won't permit the antidote. Sitcom series, benders, apathy's what they invoke. The news is informative, TV sport is life or death. Propaganda and reality shows are what's left. Manufactured opinions, ready-made minds. Invisible bars are too restrictive to read between the lines. Systematic, parasitic, public psychosis. Media carnage is organised to provoke us. Intrinsic, cohesive, repellent, righteous and rigorous. Christ of society without penance, please deliver us. Systematic, parasitic, public psychosis. Media carnage is organised to provoke us. Intrinsic, cohesive, repellent, righteous and rigorous. Christ of society without penance, please deliver us. Systematic, synthetic sentiment. Phallus, fast food, fanatic. One universal language, subliminally pornographic. Don't twist the dial, stay with conventional station. We bring you sex, lies, sugarcoat, infiltration. Material possession, female objectification. Bacterial infection, obsession, fear, intimidation. An advert calls you blemished, stupid, inadequate and plain, and you reward them by purchasing the product, promoting their name. Don't need another corrosive coronation episode. Hypnosis to erode the abyss with false bliss and pessimistic mental risk. Slashing general gist, no specific direction. A vague, sordid social impression. Brain dead being, rigor mortis in your head. Comatose conscience, program puppet, swallow what you fed. Poison my mind, I'm way too inclined to absorb all the lies. In agreement, my name is signed. Sell your soul to the mind, now a beginning has begun. Ignorance is bliss, couldn't care to give a damn. Systematic, parasitic, public psychosis. Media carnage is organised to provoke us. Intrinsic, cohesive, repellent, righteous and rigorous. Christ of society without penance, please deliver us. Systematic, parasitic, public psychosis. Media carnage is organised to provoke us. Intrinsic, cohesive, repellent, righteous and rigorous. Christ of society without penance, please deliver us.
That was Dominoes. Can you tell me a bit more about that music video?
Shimmy Marcus directed that music video, and I had to walk up that street 18 times. That was a 70th take. You know, and yes, me bumping into all those people is natural, it's not staged, so they were pretty annoyed. Some people got their toes tread on, you know. So yeah, that was the first, my first single and my first video, and as I said, Shimmy Marcus directed that. Fair play to him, he was patient, and I had just done a gig in Odessa as well, so I was pretty tired, but you know, we were driven by enthusiasm, and yeah, Dizzy DIY is a b-boy, he's my cousin, he's dancing in the background and that, so that was a fun experience.
Very good. Talking about gigs, how hard did you find it to get your first gig as an artist?
First gig? Well, you wouldn't have any problem because once you're paying to do it, or if you're doing it for free, yeah. No one minds. But to get your first gig, I suppose, like some people go the busking route. I never really done that. Like I said, when I had that amp and the mic, I never really done that. We just occupied a street corner, and we would gather a crowd listening to Robbie Marby doing beatbox, and I'd be freestyling in town, maybe 14, 15 or something, and we never really bussed. But some people do it that route and then go into venues and stuff like that. And someone asked me the same thing. Generally, like support slots and that. I mean, in 2011, I supported Wu-Tang Clan with Street Literature. Street Literature supported Wu-Tang Clan with myself, you know. And yeah, so that was cool. I'm trying to be egalitarian there to see that balance, you know. But yeah, so that's kind of how I entered into it. And then people started saying, "You're who?" And I was like, "Who?" Miscellaneous. Okay, so then your name gets out, and started doing community stuff, and I got known through community development projects and stuff. So that's how it worked out.
Cool, very good. We are going to take a look at your next music video. Do you want to introduce it yourself?
Oh yeah, Step in the Ring is the next video, and FMC Mega is in that as well. So keep an eye out for her.
Stop, look, listen, your feet in sync with the rhythm. Catch you on the flip side, feel your head spinning. Get back up, you're submitting. Next round, hear your destiny's ringing. Don't try to infiltrate my mind. Healthily subliminal messages in the rhyme. Lest you're acting Mike Tyson, 8 ounce to your knuckles. Stimulate your inner self, bring the psychological ruckus. Right cross, uppercut, step in with the jab, duck, weave, chin, tuck. Muscle the upper hand, step in the ring. Get up, left, right, left, don't neglect the footwork. Step, push, step. Left, right, left. Step, push, step. Each time you knock us down, we borrow concrete from the ground. Amateur to nothing, I'm a pro to the sound. Amateur to nothing, I'm a pro to the sound. Each time you knock us down, we borrow concrete from the ground. Amateur to nothing, I'm a pro to the sound. Amateur to nothing, I'm a pro to the sound. Please, if you would, don't tread on my toes. Prose and poetry blocking your blows. You know it's me, stallion galloping over cantering foes. Whoa, ho, ho, never mind the egos. Temperamentally ill, curing contempt with lyrical willpower. No soapbox or ivory tower above which to cower below. Sticky on the back foot, watch where I'm going with sly elbows. Pain, saliva, Scot-free, trial error. Reasonably ripe for bruising Eberhard by terror. Dolly makes tricks with a single flick of the wrist. Combinations, lyricist sealed with a loving kiss. This is your time to shine. Surprise your opponent with the light of your rhyme. This is your time to shine. Surprise your opponent with the light of your rhyme. Each time you knock us down, we borrow concrete from the ground. Amateur to nothing, I'm a pro to the sound. Amateur to nothing, I'm a pro to the sound. Each time you knock us down, we borrow concrete from the ground. Amateur to nothing, I'm a pro to the sound. Amateur to nothing, I'm a pro to the sound. Each time you knock us down, we borrow concrete from the ground. Amateur to nothing, I'm a pro to the sound. Amateur to nothing, I'm a pro to the sound. This is your time to shine. Surprise your opponent with the light of your rhyme. This is your time to shine. Surprise your opponent with the light of your rhyme.
That was Step in the Ring. Now, you mentioned earlier about how important community projects are for you. Can you tell me some of the ones that you've been involved in?
We done a project called Reinvent. That was in 2011 as well, Reinvent, and it involved like young people from all around like Poppentry area and Ballymun. Bring it to Finglas, you know. Finglas needs more of that stuff because I'm from Finglas. I know Ballymun's just we're cousins in areas, and you know. So I just got involved up there with Access Ballymun, and these young people for Reinvent would bring their pieces that like people who were experienced with writing and people who weren't so experienced, and I would just kind of be there as a medium to help them kind of, you know, coax out whatever kind of inspiration was there, you know, around using hip hop again as a medium, you know, like the 4 elements, and of course my element would be my trade is words, so I would be the lyricist, so I'd be rapping and helping people to do that, and a lot of guys are, you know, doing support for like other hip hop crews and stuff right now, and they're maybe 18, 19, they might have been like say 16 or 15, 16 when they were starting writing out, and you know, like typical rhymes and stuff like that, and now they got really concise, diverse, intricate rhymes going down, and you know, it doesn't really matter stylistically, but they have their own stamp on their character, and they're using hip hop and expressing themselves, and projects like Reinvent and that and have been you know, the foundation for them to build that on, and it's great, you know. So that's one of them. And then Otherworld Project is a Halloween festival that goes on every Halloween in Ballymun, and we'd have the Halloween hip hop scene went its second round this year, and you know, the theme was zombies. Like, and last year the theme last year was zombies, and this year just gone it was Dracula, to celebrate Bram Stoker. So they wrote around the theme of that. Different projects would, like the Reco this year and last year was held in Poppin' Tree and that. So different people adopt the Halloween hip hop scene, and I just coordinate it. And I just watch, you know, and kind of hold it together a little bit and give a little bit of support on stage. And, you know, they really just do it themselves. They don't need any help. They're young people, you know. And it's just good to see that freedom. It lets me be free.
And they have a great mentor in you as well.
Oh.
I was looking at one of your music videos and you used the bodhrán. How did that kind of fusion with traditional Irish music come about?
Well, I suppose, you know, that's an amazing story, because the bodhrán, I called myself an autodidact, you know. My dad taught himself the piano, you know, and I felt, well, what could I teach myself? I figured I taught myself that, but really, you know what, Susan, I just picked that thing up one day and it played itself. I started playing jigs and reels and, all these rhythms. I got a drum kit when I was 13, I was very privileged in that respect, and I would be doing these rhythms and throw the sticks down, and no, it's not good enough, you know, I wanted it now, instant gratification. So someone got me this little novelty bodhrán, I think 2006 or something like that, and I put it on my hand and I used the beater, and I just say, no, I can't play it, I can't, just kind of like maths, I used to say, I can't, so I couldn't. And then one year rather, I got a present, I got a bodhrán as a present, and I think I had some magic in it. Barney gave it to me, a guy down the road, right, this thing, and I said, you know, it plays itself, it was amazing. And but it's definitely, I think that it might be too deep or whatever, but I definitely think some of that magic transcended from Lunatic. From street literature, formerly Urban Intelligence, they used to be called when Lunatic was in there, and rest in peace, Lunatic passed away, and you know, he used to rap and play this bodhrán, and you know, I really think that came into me because one day I just wanted to play the bodhrán out of blue, and I think it's definitely from that. So yeah, respect to Lunatic for that. I think that was a gift, I hope.
Cool. So what does 2013 have in store for you?
2013, well, I have something to flash now. 2013, I've got this right here. It's called Big Words, so that's my next EP. That right there, Proletarian Restitution, big mouthful like Temperamental Miscellaneous. That was my first debut. That's my debut EP, and Big Words is out in 2013 this year, and February we'll have a date soon, the Sugar Club. He's onto the booking agent. So tomorrow I'll know the Sugar Club, we're going to hold the official launch there. And, you know, there's a couple of... G.I. is actually a producer of some of those tracks. Mosh Chops, you know, and G.I. was on the last album too, and Mark Lowndes done Dominoes. So, you know, it's good. I'm releasing what's still there, what's still left. And there's another EP that's in the works. And, you know, that will kind of... I think that'll be the first round done, you know what I mean? And then I'm working onto a new project with a guy called Stano, and he's a punk pioneer, you know. Stano, a lot of people know Stano, and he be, you know, underground if you want to put a title on it, but you know, he's the roots of punk in Dublin, in Ireland. So, you know, keeping the anarcho-punk hip-hop, which is the genre, keeping that going. So yeah, I'm working on stuff with him. I'll be going on Friday to do some studio work with him, and some really nice stuff. And he's all about instrumentals, he's all about real music, not samples, even though I love that. And there's a song called Oxytocin on Big Words, and you know, a guy plays Rhodes Island keys on that, you know, so shout out to the 13 Tribe for that. Paul Harrison is on keys. So that's, you know, just venturing into different areas and experimenting. Still got a few EPs to let go of. Then we'll have an album, but you know, who says you have to have an album like that, you know? So just tiptoeing. So thanks, Susan.
Great. Well, listen, you've got a Facebook page, don't you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Temperamentally Ill on Facebook, I believe. Yeah, Temperamental Miscellaneous, you'll find me on Facebook. So don't just click like, probably explore a little bit and come to a gig. But if you're under 18, check out for Access. I'll be doing an under 18s gig because there's a fan base there and we want to include everybody. So yeah, just check out the Facebook page and keep tabs on me.
Great. Well, thanks very much for coming in to us. We are going to have your live performances now.
Cool.
Thanks.
I woke up on a clear thought pursued by an ocean of further thinking. An army of anxiety runs riot in a single eye's blinking. Try to accommodate a fetus, acid reflux up in my gut with a new crease in my brow. Psychic predisposition to positivity, my physical deceit won't allow. Eat humble pie for breakfast from the floor. The sense of surrender, I succumb to a sore. In more ways than one, just a soldier and on. It's familiar, feels homely. I do it. I do it for fun. I do it for fun. What? I do it for fun. 1, 2 step, face down in the grey, head in the clouds, feet fixed fast to the clay. Seek answers in my eyes, they will not speak. Love's just like a faucet, my heart sprung a leak. Love's just like a faucet, my heart sprung a leak. Ow. Vocation, Montessori pouring skills, whiskey to detergent container, urgency exploring, hide and seek, child play games for the emergency remainder. Salvage from the thirst of a hangover's havoc. Hiding place could be destroyed, the cuddly toy hammock had developed a sense of normality. Then a room to outstretch a wing, less freedom than the Barbie hen. Relationship roles replicated, represented Barbie and Ken. Separate the boys from the men, as a woman excluded, but separation is pretend. Excluded, but separation is pretend. 1, 2 step, face down in the grey, head in the clouds, feet fixed fast to the clay. See cancers in my eyes, they will not speak. Love's just like a faucet, my heart sprung a leak. Love's just like a faucet, my heart sprung a leak. Of a treat from my prison and I'm in the present minute, excreting excess wisdom, essential lessons within it. Psychological antibiotic, re-inhibiting antigens and good microorganisms at the same time. Futile truth denial, escape route style, melodramatic antipsychotic, corrupting frame of mind, exhibiting carcinogens, biological, self-destructively inclined. Self-destructively inclined. Self-destructively inclined. 5, 6 rise, 1 shy, twice rude. The winner never wins, but the fool can lose. Deep like the chasm, feel free to pray. Might say don't leave, never beg you to stay. I might say don't leave, never beg you to stay. 5, 6 rise, 1 shy, twice rude. The winner never wins, but the fool can't lose. Deep like the chasm, feel free to pray. Might say don't leave, never beg you to stay. Never beg you to stay. Liquid into my pyramids.
Raised on an unsteady diet of white bread, aluminium poisoning, petty theft, misdemeanors, ad infinitum, petrol siphoning, disguise their integrity, postpone passion of the children, polyfill for the cracks in our souls, duplo Lego block buildings, sucking solvents are preteen pacifiers, self-made magician, petrol from blue to yellow, take the long way home to a small war or a single war zone, too angry to choke on hello, not knowing that cooks don't always have to go septic, abnormalities parallel to functioning when time is hectic. Not hungering for danger, we didn't know safety. Just hungry, escape route, school tied to hanging that shaved me. I'm a chess piece on the dashboard, wearing a mask, but I feel like a stranger. Blondie Dolly cereal, bowl cigarette book, passive smoke to fill your heart chamber. We trust in never, we believe in don't always say always. We're the common good realists, a footsteps fade in school hallways. Fundamental knowledge of energy, the symptom is folded arms. Potential faucet turns to empty, clockwise rotation, open palm. Large bench warrants. Spiritual awakenings like bags under scrotum. Can't really feel alive unless your heart's racing. Is living easy if living is coping? Is living easy if living is coping? Is living easy if living is coping? A tongue, a melody, a rhythm. Not just a language my heart only knows. Erin, for thou. Stories of long ago. Prayers in the wind, carried like secrets in our eyes. Are we dare not utter truth, the utmost treasured of our isle? A half-mast pride, no emblem to conceal or clutch within our Father's hands, measuring our stallions by his palms. Still, our heroes' hooves tread on these lands. White lily brow, sink to meet your scent cheek of rose glow. not just our rivers running free. It was our tears salted the sea. Aishtagi, listen to me. Druid dreams rising from mystery. History, Celtic mythology. Cailín Rua, wise as your emerald iris. The world celebrates our Irish Dionysus. Rimshgadden and adamant on our ascent. Spirit of the girl not broken but bent. A jigger, a real dance, a rhythm straight. We'll reach tin and now God grant us patience. A magic apology cushion I fall. How shall we rise up if we can't stand at all? Scuppered in the gutter but fawn on the stars. Burning order for Paddy Luck in and out of the bars. Drunk and disorderly victim on the dawn. Blame and condemn the island you're born upon. Blarney Stone hope vast as her freckles. Ireland's treasures are hidden beneath pockets and shekels. Cockles and hustles and bare knuckle rage. A book of sales, image curve affiliation on stone page. Johnny come over, son of the clatter. Once more tread on the clover. Fight with naught for the ballad. Fight with naught for the ballad. Nice.
Each time you knock us down, we borrow concrete from the ground. Amateur to nothing, I'm a pro to the sound. Amateur to nothing, I'm a pro to the sound.